is Jorge Noro. As Rita said, I'm the executive coordinator of the Institute of Interdisciplinary Research at the University of Coimbra. We are here to deliver one more session of the virtual lecture series, Hi Dana, promoted by the work package led by University of Jena under the project RI4C2, Research and Innovation for Cities and Citizens. This program is, for those who might even not know, is directly related to EC2U Alliance of our 7 universities. This is the European campus of City University. So I hope you enjoy this and that it will be, well, useful for you. Today we will briefly share some strategies implemented at the University of Coimbra in order to reinforce the competitive role of research through our research units and researchers. Here at University of Coimbra, the research units cluster is diverse. So the Institute of Interdisciplinary Research had to think on multi and interdisciplinary strategy to gather the different agents and units. Actually, we have 38 research units and 8 associated laboratories. Well, some of our goals were to increase the number of international competitive funding opportunities and consortia identified, to deliver more in-house training and empowerment events under specific research issues, also sharing best practices, and of course, strengthening the research network, both locally and internationally. The identification of research gaps motivated the mobilization and active exchange of ideas between the different agents of science at the University of Coimbra, such as researchers, professors, but also technicians and other science managers. This is a new reality also in Portugal, since we have this now, these science managers that a lot of them come from a different path, either from the research. To help the discussion, for instance, ensuring an updated state-of-the-art, also the promotion of new international competitive consortia, and to foster autonomy of the early researchers, some tools were identified as useful. That's why we implemented them, and the University of Coimbra actually offers the access to several research platforms to all research members, including PhD students. As mentioned, our goal is to promote scientific interdisciplinary approach, and by that we mean projects, papers, strategic meetings, advanced courses, whatever. We'll discuss this a little bit later. On our website, you can find different tools available to proceed, and here are some of those examples. We found very useful some new platforms that we subscribed and, as I told you, offer to the university researchers and actually to all the academia community. The Research Connect, which is finding oriented to organization international competitive funding opportunities. I mean, it's not only one more platform to identify competitive funding opportunities, but it's quite useful because it's oriented to the organization. The results of our research is actually oriented to those where we are already eligible. Also to find this Research Connect platform also allows us to find scientific partners abroad. So most of our users, science managers and researchers, actually feel great using this platform, which is very popular. Furthermore, we found another useful platform called Impactor, which belongs to the same group actually, which adds something to it, because besides finding the projects and papers, it allows us to just put the quite significant amount of text in the search. I mean, it's not only based in keywords as usual, but it's based on, for instance, a complete abstract or eventually a complete paper. And based on that, the platform will make the search for you and will deliver to you some results that you can choose, both from projects, papers, and actually also opportunities for finding your research. So it is quite interesting. Actually, we met them recently in the IARMA meeting back in Prague, and they were launching this global campus, which is a new model for finding partners, scientific agents, quite relevant to ensure that we can put in connection agents of the same research areas, fields. Also, it seems finer to use a different platform, quite lighter than those two I've already mentioned, which is called CrowdHelix. that actually is an open innovation platform. We use it to briefly and rapidly announce new opportunities that we want to share with the world and the community, and also be aware of new project consortium opportunities. Back in the crowd Helix, we also have this chance. Actually, this open innovation platform operates as let's say like the Facebook of the science. It's quite easy to use, and we can use it in a way to promote very easily the approximation, the closing the gaps between the partners in different countries and different organizations. It's very useful and very easy to use. Also, we had the chance to lead some helix, some thematically helix. I mean, the model of crowd helix platform also proposes, amongst other things, this thematic helix, where somehow people gather and discuss like a cluster of interested parties. So we actually in Coimbra lead the helix of culture and heritage. So this is so we have these three different platforms that we offer, let's say this way, to the researchers and science managers in order to improve their ability to find not only agents and other partners, but also competitive funding. Of course, we have also some specific strong bets on training. And under this subject, we also offer access to prestigious Nature Springer masterclasses, which is quite relevant for our researchers to access these very, very relevant contents, and allow both early researchers and senior researchers, science managers, even professors, teachers, and technicians to access to very relevant contents, and this way strengthen and reinforce their competencies. Well, considering these platforms that we are subscribing, there are a lot of others. Those are eventually the more relevant, considering the research approach and the way we can try to use through the Institute of Interdisciplinary Research, and aligned, of course, with the strategic approach of our rectory to promote the research back here in through our research units and close to our researchers. Considering the repository, we have a central digital scientific repository, which actually helps people to meet also to find some specific contents that eventually they are looking for. Again, contributing to an updated state of the art, for instance, under specific subjects. And it's operating under an open access policy since 2010. Actually, it's now currently being revised to accommodate challenges to open science and research data management. We are actively engaged with these new challenges on research data management and open science, and we are, well, somehow dealing with these challenges, promoting this discussion, gathering people and other interested parties, including away from the university community, to find the best answers we can to implement new solutions, not only to operate as a repository, but also as a forum of discussion of how to deal with research data management. Well, considering also in the training sessions, we have this strategy that we launched specifically here at our institute, but of course, in order to be available to all the university, these training sessions we called formações, because it's the word in Portuguese for training. 3IUC, the 3 I's are obviously the first letters of the Institute of Interdisciplinary Research, since research in Portuguese is written investigação. And they are open to the entire research community on relevant topics to research and its management. We are well, let's say, the main deliverers. The pivot for this project is Ana Carvalho, which she will be speaking on the second part of this lecture. And I'm sure she will mention and underline some specific issues under this topic. We can illustrate briefly different sessions that we have already promoted under this umbrella of the training sessions. They are quite different. We have approaches to researchers' mobility, to researchers' connections, to Creative Commons, the licensing process you might be aware to, also to these projects and to these platforms we already present, Impact and others, but also to UNESCO chairs at the University of Coimbra and a lot of different others. So this is a huge pack that we have already, with, I would say, humbly say, with some success being implemented. Yeah, for that and much more, well as we'll see later here, the rector proposed when he was under his application on 2019 on his first mandate. He was recently again reconducted to the second mandate. The rector proposed some strategic research areas to be included well, in the strategic plan of the University of Coimbra, which would help to focusing the action of research centers and contribute to institutional strategy. The point was to give some master guidelines to research units in order to help people to focus on the, not mandatory, of course, but helping people to focus on the approach to do under these strategic areas to their research areas. The rector and the rectory, of course, also provided a specific budget amount to finance through the University of Coimbra's own revenues seed research projects. This budget was applied to promote seed research projects. One of these, one per each strategic area was approved, and they were chosen between the after, well, some assessment made from the jury, interdisciplinary jury. These projects were selected, and this internal interdisciplinary jury submitted and carried out by the postdoc researchers. So one interesting thing here is that the proposals and the researchers must not have obtained their PhD degree more than 10 years ago. I mean, this is seed money for seed projects for early researchers. So it's quite concrete, specific action that fosters the autonomy to the early researchers. So it's very popular, and people is now, I suppose, in the third or fourth edition, and I think this will be a strategy to keep because it gives some autonomy to the early researchers. This way, not depending strictly to their orientators and senior researchers. Well, this strategic areas actually that also supports the organization of these research projects have been identified, discussed internally after the proposal of the rector, and are in line with the clusters of Pillar 2 of Horizon Europe. So in University of Coimbra, they got the name of health, culture, heritage, and inclusive society, climate, energy and mobility, digital industry and space, and natural resources, agri-food and environment. They are quite large, of course, but at the same time, they proposed, let's say, a path to the research areas, underlining the relevance of gathering people around specific thematic scientific areas. Among other differentiated actions, such as the advanced revision of text for the submission of competitive applications or support, the negotiation or identifying new international consortia, the managers of strategic areas at university, as I told you, they are one manager for each area, organize and carry out strategic actions, such as sessions for instance, clarifying, identifying opportunities in Horizon Europe. We call it this strategy destinations, the training and revision of contents within the scope of applications for projects and Pillar 1 for research excellence, as in cases of ERC, Marie Curie, or still supporting submission of applications for ERA-share or widening projects. So also, the strategic areas are not only one sign, let's say, one master guideline to all the research units and coordinators, but also they kind of establish the way some specific strategies are designed not only the seed research projects that I told, but also the doctoral schools, also specific approaches to this, eventually to these error shares, widening projects. So they actually operate as a strategic approach. Along with the seed research projects, our team and the institute and the strategic managers gave support to the implementation of the doctoral school strategy, also based as strategic areas, as I mentioned. And the sessions are very popular, both from students and teachers. For instance, recently, we closed one more cycle with this best practices for PhD orientation. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. We had embraced a lot of different strategies, and we are really excited on the way we suppose our house, I'm referring to the Institute of Interdisciplinary Research, can actually operate as a facilitator and a promoter, effective promoter of the research, and to gather all the research units and the researchers. Of course, we have different issues, but we also approach here some specific advancing training and courses like the PhD interdisciplinary course, but I think this is not the point for here. So Rita, this is pretty much it. I'm of course available to any questions and to discuss furthermore. Thank you so much, Rita.
So my challenge to you, and I believe that all of you have a cell phone very close by, so I would like to invite you to get in on menti.com with this code, or just read this QR code and to follow me during this presentation. I only have 3 questions for you, so it's very, very easy. So I want to feel you all with me. Let me just remove our images here to know if you are already inside. So just give me a thumbs up on the app if you are already seeing instructions on your cell phone. If you are reading instructions, you are on the right place. Okay, I see some times up. I hope that all of you are in Mentimeter already. If some of you have some troubles to get in, please let me know. I will try to help you. But I'm seeing some smiles, so I believe that all of you are coming inside. Okay. One more thumb up. So I think we can go further. So the first question that I have to you is, who is our public? Because that is probably one of our first questions when we want to share results. So please answer me. Who is our public? Or who is your public? Or who is the public you want to reach and you want to share your results? I will start waiting for your answers. So administrators, researchers, citizens, students, science managers. So we have here a huge variety of publics, and as you know, we need to pay attention first to our public and then start to think about how we can share our results. Citizens is increasing in size, and researchers too. That seems that they are probably in this room the major public that you may have to share your results. So we can move for now with researchers and citizens. And let's continue. But we also have the ones that say all community. That's very big public that you want to reach. And sometimes you need to separate it in smaller publics in order to have more success. We have also students increasing, but these multiple publics, I would advise you to think it as smaller publics, because that will make our job much easier. So I would like also to ask you, how do you think that we can share results? That could be where, how, which is your main ideas when I ask you, how can we share results? Usually I do this question separately in different points. Today we need to squeeze a little bit our ideas. That's why I'm asking you how. So let's see if you have already some answers from you. So how give me some ideas and share with me. In special events, in social media, in meetings, digital newsletter. So we are coming here with different events, websites. So we have plenty of ways to organize our results and to share it with these different publics. Probably we need to adapt a little bit our language if you want to do it for different publics. That's why sometimes we can choose different publics to share these messages and these results to the different publics. Scientific events, podcasts, websites, blogs, open events open to citizens, long night of sciences, press releases, peer-reviewed publications. So we have plenty of ways to do it, and sometimes we are always doing it in the same way or using the same strategy, right? So why not sometimes to do it a little bit in a different way, to challenge not only us as the ones that are sharing the results, but also the other side, the ones that are checking our results. So, in fact, my main ideas was to divide it, how we can share the ideas with the researchers and the main public, this very big and broad public that we have in front of us. Starting with the researchers, we have conferences, seminars, lectures, roundtables, articles, all of these that we are very used to regarding researchers, but even if they are more, I would say, traditional ways to share our results, even we can do it in a different manner. Try to think how you like to receive the results from others. Yourself on the other one's shoes, and that probably will help the way you will share your results next time. Because when we are bored, when the others are sharing results, we don't want to do it at the way they are doing it. So try to think on your own shoes and what you would like to see on the other side. Actually, and since Rita asked me to speak a little bit of networking, sometimes when we, and all of us had already organized events, we are putting everyone speaking in lectures, in roundtables, and we don't give enough time for people to network. We need to give them time on the breaks, we need to give them time on lunch, dinner, ways to make people share not only their results, but the way to think, the way to communicate, and make people together also on those events. So give time to people connect, to people network, to people share their own way to do things, because that is the way for us to learn the others, sometimes between us, more than when they are presenting very traditional their results. So to network, to get new collaborations, try to increase the time to share, and these social times are very important to share results, and sometimes these details of our results that make the difference and change the way us and the others see our real results. Moving to the main public, and the ones that know that science communication to the general public is something that drives me, I would like to share with you why not different ways to do it. Of course, that we want to bring science, bring our work to the society, and how can we do this in the best way? And which are the main goals that we want to achieve to be able to make this connection in bi-directional, not only from us, from the science, from the universities, from this side of the ones that think about this, but also to the society, because they have, and even more now, more to say about our work, more to say about the science and the way we do science and we share it with the public. Why not to bring them also to this conversation? Because with that, we'll get trust, we'll get more comprehension about what we are saying. And of course, good communication is essential to get it done. We want to bring them to this scientific culture. We want to share our science. We need to empower also our science and us as scientists, as science managers, and so on. So it's so important to bring this way to communicate to the society and share with them these results. And of course, they are the ones that sometimes make some decisions and have some power to make some lobbies also to the different stakeholders. So why not share with them what we are doing in a way to have more power, change things, and also to get some funds, because that is always something that's very important to us. So how? Now, and before I give you some examples, I would like to ask you which different strategies can we use to share results with the different publics? Any specific strategies, any different places, any different activities that we can do in order to reach these different publics? Probably getting some answers very quickly. It's simple. Sometimes the simple way to answer are the best ones. Okay, go to the city. Thematic events, inviting citizens to some kind of events. Yes, someone else that wants to share European Researchers' Nights, social media. Yes, anything else that you want to add? I know that some are still writing, go to the cities, go to the schools. So we have here very different ways to do when social media is getting bigger. So I would like now to share with you some of the strategies that we are using here at 3Eyes. One that is very common all over the world, as you can see here with all these flags, is point of science. It's a way to go to a bar, and I start with a bar. Sorry, I don't know, maybe this is the time to get something to drink during lunch, at least here in Portugal. So at the bars, we can bring scientists, you can bring researchers to share their science with the ones that are in the bar, the ones that want to go just to get the beer and have the opportunity to hear different scientists and to share their questions. Why not? And this is a very good way to have science among us. Another strategy, and also at the bar, is Pub HD. Pub HD here at the pub, whatever, we bring PhD students to the bar in a way to make them share with us what they are developing, what are their projects during the PhD. It's a good way to challenge these PhD students to share their science with everyone, but also is a good way for us as society to know what is happening in our universities, what people is studying on the universities. Another strategy that we brought to Coimbra last year is called Soapbox Science. This is dedicated to women researchers and is a way to empower our women, to make them connect to each other. It is also a way to bring to the streets our science. We had 12 women from completely different areas of knowledge sharing with us what they are doing on their daily life. And of course, also on the cities, and some of you referred to already, are the European Researchers' Night. Here in Coimbra, we are bringing our researchers, and last year we brought more than 400 or around 400 researchers to our downtown streets in order to share their science with the community, with the citizens. Some are just passing by and are invited to see what we are doing. Others go there to see us and to share also their knowledge with us. We did it together with merchants, with the shopkeepers, with different companies close by the downtown area, and that is also a good way to share our science with other stakeholders in our city, together with associations, with our researchers, with our research centers, and also with the municipality. Another way, different, is why not to connect by letter with students from all over the place. That happens with a project that we also collaborate with called Cartas Consciência, Letters with Science, when any researcher and any one of you can connect with a student in the other part of the world and connect with him or her by letter. Of course, you also refer it social media. Sometimes we have more time, other times we have less time, but why not create specifically to our main subject, to our main goal, to our main project, a specific social media account to share with people what you are doing. We can do it as a way to share our daily life, or why not to share doubts, myths, and so on with the people. Another strategy that we are using at 3Eyes is called Cientista regressa à escola. So scientists return to school when we invite our researchers to go back to their primary school. Yes, they are returning to the first classroom where they were learning, sharing what they are doing now in their daily life with the kids. It's a way to empower them and also to make our researchers very pleased to be able to share their science with their community. Another example that we are trying to promote is to bring our science to places sometimes where people don't go to see science. For example, on the shopping, on the malls. We were organizing 7 different exhibits with 14 of our 38 research centers, where they need to organize themselves to make this exhibition, organize the main projects that were more important to the community, and to share it on the mall during 2 weeks in order to share also in a very organized way what they are doing in their research centers. Of course, another strategy that I know that you know very well, called 3-minute thesis competition. This was our winner from the University of Coimbra this year, Robert, from philosophy. So an area that sometimes is not so common in a 3-minute thesis, at least here in the University of Coimbra. But it was a very good surprise to have different PhD students sharing their science in only 3 minutes with everyone. And this is a way to give you some examples of how to share our results. Yes, we have plenty other ways to do it, but at least we are varying the opportunities to share our science. So think about this and try, why not, to share also with us different strategies to do it. Thank you. Ida?
I think, I think the main issues or barriers could be failing on those that I've already mentioned. If you don't have robust channels, if you don't identify properly which are the researchers and the proper destinataries of your message, I think that this would be, first of all, the path to the failure. But I leave Anna is also quite experienced on this.
Maybe I may add just something else to what Jorge told us. I think the major challenge here at the university too is sometimes have a real, very organized and targeted channel to reach the different publics we want to reach. Because sometimes we, and some of you probably are more dedicated to this specific tasks on your daily life, and you have your mailing list, you have the people that you usually reach, and for those it's quite simple. But when you need to move a little bit the public that you want to reach, that may be a challenge, because you need to contact the right person, because sometimes that connection is not so easy for you to reach, and then you get to do an event, a very good event, by the way, but you don't have exactly the number of participants that you'd like to have. So for that, I think we need to knock a lot of doors. We need to call a lot of people, because sometimes that menus are not well organized. You need to do something to change that. Yes, sometimes it's a challenge, but I think you need to continue, because next time that you do another event for the same target, we have already the list organized. So sometimes it is not yet to be used by us, but at least you did it already that job before, and next time. And you can always share with the others, but it's not easy. Sometimes it's a new challenge when the things are not organized. And when you have very big entities and organizations, that gets something worse than we thought at the beginning when we started the job.
Anna, don't you think the biggest challenge is not to reach people, but maintaining the people in contact, in touch with your research or with your work? Because that's a lot of information, a lot of things going on. And I think the most difficult thing is just keep the people in touch with your work. Don't you think that?
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes we can lose some people and get new people, and that turnover is very common. Of course, that usually we have the ones that's very attached to what we do, and they keep coming. But it's very common to have that turnover, and it's normal. And you need to count on that, have that people that you know that you can count on. For example, when I do some of those science communication activities, I know that I have some people that I will reach, and then they will answer. And of course, I have the ones that I need to do it again and again and return to them and maybe call them. Did you saw my email? Do you think that you should answer me or do something? So sometimes it's not so easy. You need to keep and never give up. And that is the message for everyone. If they don't answer at the first or the second, why not to ask for the third time? Sometimes work, sometimes don't, but at least you feel very comfortable, and you tried and you did your best to reach the major number as possible. To go to send applications to our activities. Just to give you an example. We are organizing the European Researchers Night that will take place on September 29th. We got 80 applications, what was very good, the best one ever since I'm organizing the European Researchers Night. And we start to look for the research centers that had answered. And you realize that even with 80, you still have a lot of research centers that didn't reply. So what do you do after that? You send an email to the science manager or to the coordinators saying, I really would like to have one application from your side to the European Researchers Night. Are you available to send it? And of course, that you need always to have a backup time, to give time for the ones that are a little bit not so fast to answer our emails, and give them some time to answer it. So yes, go and try to have more answers that you had for the first time that you asked for it.
We have a comment here. Katarina is saying also because researchers are very busy people. Thank you, Anna, for the answer and very nice presentation. Well, I think Katarina is also right. And communication and all the things that we've been talking are about people. And we need people to work in this cause. We need people to work in the universities in science communication. And the thing is, it's all about people. And sometimes the amount of human resources that are available in the in the universities, in the organizations, are quite low. So it's very difficult to maintain the quality and the number of people we want to reach and we want to engage and bring to science. So I think that's my final comment on that. And I hope these things change because we need people to work in this.